Hey yo, the last video I did on video game music did pretty well. So, here's another. This time, about game jams. If you're unfamiliar with the term, a game jam is an event where small teams get together to make a game with a prompt and time limit. Usually 24 or 48 hours or so, but there are longer ones out there. A friend of mine reached out to me to join his team a little bit ago to write some music and stuff. So this video is gonna be about how I went about doing it. While I'm sure game jams have the programmers and artists under some serious pressure, for me, as the composer, it's a little more chill. For me, anyway. Since the games are of a much smaller scale, it usually means I only have to write a handful or even just a few short loops of music. This time, my friend sent me all the details on the jam theme, some early videos of their progress, and some assets before I even started, so that was pretty epic. For music, I was to write some retro 80s style stuff, taking inspiration from Duster's Me and the Birds. So, super chill, no complaints, vibes only. Slap some 80s drums into Ableton, and equipped with some stock synth leads, here's the main theme I wrote. I'm not sure if I can play the reference track because of copyright, but if you know the song already, I'm sure you could hear some similarities between it and the theme I wrote. You can see visually here that the music is way less complex than my usual stuff. Whenever I'm writing music for other people, I always like to give some options, so I wrote a few other phrases too, all quite similar to one another and all based around the same ref. In addition, I also made a couple super short pieces to use for whatever the team needed them for. The instructions I got were pretty loose, so I left it pretty open-ended. All of these little ideas use the same instruments and motifs, of course, and you can see that all of them share commonalities with each other and the ref track. Also, they're all written on my classic amount of 4, 8, or whatever bars with fade-ins and outs so they can seamlessly loop into themselves and or each other. Similarly to the points I made in my previous video game video, you can see that each of these themes are connected by, say it with me now, similar motifs. And with the same instruments being used for each one, they kinda are all the same, more or less. Since there was still stuff being planned for the music's implementation at the time of writing, I also did this in case the themes had to be combined into one big theme with phases, like a long level with a boss at the end. With game jams as well, you may also have to anticipate last-minute changes, so arranging your music in a way for you to edit easily also helps. So yeah, lots of nice options to think about when writing this stuff. I really like the nature of jams, where things are a bit smaller because there's like a lot of room for experimentation. And not only that, but writing a bunch of short themes for different things can be much easier to jump into than a huge composition. I commonly hear the music advice of something like, when you have no ideas or you need motivation, try writing like an experimental 16 bars, or 30 seconds of music every day. And I think this is a great way to stay sharp and try new styles and whatever, but I hate having a bunch of incomplete projects, you know? Anything I write will be fully mixed and a 5-minute symphony sooner or later. So I guess game jams are kind of like my version of those little writing sessions. And just like that, mission accomplished. Bounced and sent the tracks to my friend for implementation. Luckily for me, the team liked all the music on the first try. Let's freaking go. I was very happy about that, but I am always, of course, open to critique and stuff. If you're a fellow composer, I'm sure you know all about how the client will have a vision, but they often don't know what they want until they hear it. Sometimes you'll have the perfect score, and sometimes it'll take, like, infinite revisions. But that's the job of a composer, so don't take it personally. But, as I said, luckily, the team liked the music, and I got to see it in the game soon after. And that's my process for game jams. While the projects are much simpler, the thinking behind it all is the same. Keep things interesting and connected, and don't forget to put your own creative spin on it, and, of course, have fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I'll see you later. Cheers, guys!